Hello, my name is Mia Boone. I am doing my presentation in class SOC 312. Um, the book that I chose was A Queer and Pleasant Danger by Kate Bornstein. I will say that this book was very interesting. I was lost in certain parts of the book. I don't know. I thought maybe it would be extremely interesting, being that of what it was about, but she lost me in a few areas and regained me in others. But it was very interesting in certain aspects. So to each his own. To start it off, I would start off by saying that the book is mainly about Miss Bornstein being born as a boy, as a male figure, gender, and she chose to be a part. She was a Jewish girl, well, male, and she was born as a male. And later in life, she decided to join a religious group, which is not really heard of in the United States. Well, wasn't back in the early before the 1960s. Not many people knew anything about them, but it's a religion called Scientology, and the religion is based upon you not having a gender, you not having a soul, you have an immortal spiritual soul, which means you don't die. You live different lives, and they can be either male or female. It's up to you to choose. They feel that every person, being that you don't have a soul, you'll never die. You'll live on forever. And by you living on forever, you can choose whatever life you want to choose to live. And the only nugget to this religion is that although you can live whatever gender you want to live in these different lives, you can't be gay. It's an evil, that you're evil if you are gay, or if you're a female acting masculine, or if you're male acting feminine, and you're evil. And so it blew my mind to even read the book and find this out about this religion. Miss Bornstein, while she was in this religious church, Church of Scientology, she was a male, and her name was Albert. And so, being the male in this religion, she held several offices, but her main office was she was a spokesperson for the religion. She acted as if she did great presentations, and she would act as a marketer for the religion to try to get other people to join the religion. Her main reason for joining the religion was because there was no gender. You had no gender, and this was her main thing. She didn't want to be seen as a male or a female. She just wanted to be seen as a citizen, a person who loved, who cared about others, who wanted to have fun, who wanted to be treated fairly. And this is her main reason for joining. But while being in the religion, she took on a main part of the religion, which was the um, finances. She was in the financial department, and being in the financial department, she had to go to take funds from the church to a Swiss bank. But there was an irony. The account that she was using was an account that the church did not want to be traced back to the church. So in so many words, it was like embezzling money for the organization, because the organization was audited eventually. But one of the times she went to take a deposit, one of the managers of the bank, they confronted her and they called her a name, which was the name of the founder, which is Lou Hubbard. And she acted as if, you know, she was dumbfounded by this, because you can't call a person's name in a bank like that because it's confidentiality. Long story short, she went on to, because of this incident, she was questioned, interrogated very heavily. They had her to move back to her home, which is away from Switzerland, and which is in the United States. And she moved back to her home only to go to the church and be interrogated even more. They interrogated her as if she was trying to she was being in with another organization to bring down this church. And because of this, later on they came back to her and they asked her what they gave her an ultimatum. And the ultimatum, she had two of them, and one of the ultimatums included her going through hardcore labor, and she had to eat scraps. She couldn't speak with anybody but people who were going through this hardcore labor, and they were placed in a whole separate section of this church organization in another building. And so and the other ultimatum was she would exit the organization. And so she decided, after long thought, to exit, because she wasn't going to go through with the hardcore labor, especially after being in the situation she was in, which was she had a high leadership role in this organization. And so the only thing that she hated about her decision was she couldn't have any contact with any family members that was still part of this organization, this church. And it just so happened her daughter and her two granddaughters had just joined this organization, and so they wouldn't be able to communicate with one another. So years later, she decided to go ahead and change her gender to a female, because she was a male. And this was because although she was a male in the Scientology church, the main officers knew she was trans, and so they hid it because she was bringing in revenue for them. And so anything to help their organization, they used that to their advantage. So they hid her secret from the other people. And so she changed her gender, and not only did she have to worry about society ridiculing her for what she wanted to do to make herself happy, she had to deal with family members. And one family member that she took to heart was her mother. And her mother at first did not like it. She hated the fact that her son was becoming a female, but eventually she came around, and she only got to live with her new daughter for only 7 years, and then she died 7 years afterwards. She found out about her daughter. But the after all of this transpired, she decided to write a book, and this book was entitled "A Queer and Pleasant Danger." The danger is this Scientology church, and how they manipulated people, they antagonized people, they were bullying people. There was a fear factor, and that's how they controlled the people within their organization. And her being a queer was a danger as well, because people set out to kill people of this stature. And so the very unpleasant part of this whole situation is that she may never live to see her daughter again, if the daughter never gets out. And so she decided to write a book. Especially, this book was special for people of her like situation, people who were in this organization or church and that had gone through, or maybe even people who were thinking about going through, joining this organization. She was giving them heads up on what they could look forward to had they gone in. But I encourage you to read this book, because it's very, very good. It's very, very interesting. I'm sure there are other aspects to this book, but the two that I picked out of it was the Scientology, Church of Scientology, which was a very big eye-opener, because I had no clue that Tom Cruise was a part of this church. And that being a queer, and, well, I don't even like that word, but the queer part is being transgender. To change your gender is not only changing your genitals, is changing the person you are on the outside, to make the outside appear as the inside. Because Miss Bornstein felt very beautiful, but she said she was trapped in that body on the outer appearance. And so the only way her beauty could be shown outward is to change her outer appearance, which was her transgender. So I encourage each of you to read this book, and I hope you enjoy my presentation. Thank you so very much.